This podcast is brought to you by Sci-Fi, the world leader in psychology fitness training. Sci-Fi is scientifically proven to help you optimize your physical, mental, and emotional performance through functional training of your brain, body, and breath. For the first time, have your own clinical psychologist, personal trainer, life coach, breathwork teacher, and mediation instructor all in one. Instead of having to wait months or even years for results, you get them in 75 minutes or less. That's the Sci-Fi difference. Rewire your brain, retrain your body, and refocus your breath. Learn more at psyfi.nyc.
It's been said, you, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit to keep moving forward. That's what Life's Tough, Boxers Are Tougher is all about. I'm your host, Matthew Pomara, and we explore a mountainous challenge that someone in the boxing industry has had to face. In the guest corner, he comes to us from Jersey City, New Jersey, with an impressive record of 24 wins with only 3 defeats, with 20 big wins by knockout. Please welcome to the podcast, the former and inaugural IBF Junior Middleweight Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Mark Maddow. Hey,
Thank
champ.
you.
How you doing?
How you doing, big? Good, sir. Real proud to be here with you because Bobby spoke highly of you, so definitely.
Oh, thanks so much, man. It means the world to me. Bobby's a great guy, and we're glad to have you.
Without a doubt. Thank you.
Yeah. So look, you're the inaugural IBF. It's the Super Welter Junior Middle title. That's a prestigious title, right? It's held right now from your title lineage. It's held right now by one of the best boxers in the world, Errol Spence Jr. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome fighter.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of that. How do you say it? What weight is you just said his name? What weight is
Errol
Spence weight now? He's 54 pounder. He's a 54 pounder.
Yeah. He's at 154. So
I always thought he was 147 pounder. That's why I asked.
Yeah. He's got the belt that you used to hold, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure about that.
Well, I'm gonna see, next time he fights, I'll watch him and then I'll ask him, can I get a fight? I'm really kidding.
There we go. We're launching a comeback. That's the Life's Tough, Boxers Are Tougher. We're already launching a comeback. That we're excited about that.
I'm gonna watch him. I'm really gonna watch him and see if I can. You never know. You never know. What crosses a man's heart or his mind, and if I don't feel good, I don't do it. But if I feel good, I try it.
There's a lot of you've had a lot of prestigious people hold that belt. So it's pretty awesome that you were the inaugural IBF champ. I think there's a lot to be said about that, and I think it's great as a trailblazer. So,
Matt, I don't brag or nothing like that, but I'm not used to it. But a lot of people don't know my career, my boxing career, how it started, and I'm going to tell you right now that I never fought in the amateurs. I was in the gym 4 weeks, had my first professional fight, and became a world champion in 4.5 years. To me, I thought I did accomplish something pretty good, thank God. And but a lot of people don't know that I never fought in the amateurs, never had no experience at all in the ring with fighters. As I was starting to train, when I started to train, Emil Griffith was my trainer and Bernard Forbes, and they had me boxing pros every single day, and I didn't know till about the 4th or 5th day. And one day I said, he said to I don't know if you remember Kenny Styles. He was the silver medalist in '84 Olympics. Remember Kenny Styles?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, Kenny Styles was a great guy and an outrageous boxer. He taught me a lot, and I learned a lot from him, from Iran Barkley, from Davey Moore, from Mark McPherson, who's I spot all these guys almost every day, and Bernard Hopkins for about a good 2 weeks. And I was learning from, as I was preparing to fight, I was learning from the best guys in the world, which was great. I thought it was good. And when my trainer told me, you're sparring pros, I looked at him. I said, "Excuse the French. What the f are you doing when you try to get me killed?" You know what I'm saying? He says, you're a talented young man. And if you don't know it, you're fighting. You've been sparring pros all these days, Mark. And I looked at him. I said, "Are you kidding me, Bernard?" He said, "No." He said, "Mark, you're sparring with these guys and you're beating up. You knocked down a few of them. Mark." He says, "Are you sure you never fought before?" I said, "I never fought in the ring before." I said, "And as far as boxing, I used to box with all my friends on Van Wagner Avenue where I grew up at, and I always used to wait to one guy won, the biggest guy won, and they were, if I wasn't there, they used to run to my house and say, "Mom, come on, we got somebody for you to box." And I used to go back, back to the schoolyard and wind up knocking the guy out. It was crazy, And finally, there was a man by the name of Don Nagel, who I don't know if he passed away, man. And I've been asking a lot of my former police friends that is he still alive? He was an Ishinu expert, and he started teaching me. He took me, took me in and started teaching me, telling me. And then after about a good 4 weeks at his gym, he came to me one day and said, "Look, Mark," he said, "I got to talk to you. I don't want to put your head this big, but I got to tell you." He said, "Mark, either you slow down or you're not going to be able to spar with these guys anymore." I said, "But we're not boxing." He said, "We're doing." He said, "Yeah." He said, "But you punch a lot." He said, "When you punch these guys, they've been complaining to me since the first day." I said, "Are you kidding me?" I thought he was kidding me, because he's also a funny guy. And when he said, "No, Mark, I'm dead serious," and then he turned around and he whistled, and all four guys came over. He says, "How long you been doing this?" I said, "As long as Don had me here, about 2 months." He said, "You pick up like that." I said, "Well, I'm a good learner, thank God." And but it was just crazy to know that I could punch the way that I was punching, And
Yeah. Well, it worked out pretty good, man.
Yeah,
Like you said, 4.5 years, and you're a
thank God.
champion.
Thank God
And
to tell you.
it's
And
funny.
I also had some of the
Good.
no. Oh, I also had some of the greatest trainers in the world. I mean, Emil Griffith.
Yeah.
Four-time welterweight champion. I mean, four-time welterweight champion, super welterweight champion, and middleweight champion.
Yeah.
And his cousin Bernard Forbes, they used to call him the Brute. Those two guys got together when they first saw me spar. It was the craziest thing in the world. They said, "Where the hell is this kid from? Who is this kid?" You know what I'm saying? And the Jimmy Glenn brought me over, told him, introduced me to them, and I said, but I knew Emil Griffith because Emil Griffith used to go out with my mother and my father to the Palladium almost every weekend back in the days when they were young, when I was a whole lot younger. And when Emil Griffith told me, he said, "I know your mother." I said, "But that's not a joke." He said, "No, it's not a joke. I know your mother and I know your father." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Sure you do." He said, "No, no, no, listen to me, Mark. I know them." He said, "Your mother's name is Carmen, right?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "And your father's name is Marcos, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, if you know my mother, what do they call her?" He said, "Mita." I said, "Why? You know my mother?" I said, "How you know my mother?" He said, "We got together one time in the Palladium. We met in the Palladium, and but your father's an avid boxing fan, and this and that, and we hit it off really, really good. So we started coming together all the time back in the days. And when I realized that you were Carmen's son, uh, I said to myself, I'm going to go speak to Carmen and make sure that this kid comes back to the gym because I didn't really want to be a boxer. I just liked the boxing, and my biggest thing in life was that I couldn't stand bullies. You know what I mean? And that's why I learned how to fight. I learned the Ishin route first, and then I started picking up boxing. And when I started hitting those guys, I just couldn't believe sometimes that boxing was so great and so incredible. Because when you're a boxer, you're definitely in the greatest shape of all.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in better. I don't think there's anybody in better condition in sports than a boxer.
Well, it's certainly tough. And then after your career, you went into law enforcement.
Yes, sir. Became a police officer, and after 23 years, I got fired. They said that I was smoking marijuana at 55 years old. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth right now on your iPod, on your iCast, and let you know the truth that my son was in prison, and my oldest son was in prison. He was studying some stuff, and when he came home, as soon as he came home, he goes, "Hey, Pop, how you been?" And this and that. I'm looking at him saying, "Man, my son is home," and I'm hugging him and kissing him. He wants to tell me what he learned in prison. I said, "What did you learn in prison, Rich?" He said, He said, Pop, I got to ask you a question first. I said, go ahead. He said, Pop, you still get those migraine headaches? I said, the craziest thing in the world, Richie. They're horrible. He said, I'm going to kill you. And I looked at him. I said to him, so you went to prison because you got in trouble. Now you're a doctor. And he starts laughing. And he said, no, Pop, you learn a lot of things in prison, believe it or not. So I didn't know that he was making me teas with marijuana. Okay? He was making me tea with marijuana. And thank God that he cured me. I haven't gotten a migraine headache since 2016. He made me six teas. Uh, six for 6 days. He made me those teas, and every time I used to drink the tea, I used to look around and say, "Damn!" And I used to fall right out to sleep. So I asked him the next day, "Rich, what are you putting in those teas?" He said, "Don't worry about it, Pop. I got you. He said, "You feel better?" He said, "Are you getting any symptoms?" I said, "No, I haven't felt one yet. But how the migraine headaches are." He said, "Pop, I'm gonna cure you. I'm really gonna cure you." And I kept hugging him and kissing him, and you know, he died December 16th, 2020,
Wow.
in prison, and that's one of the greatest losses in my life, because he was my life. But God gives and He takes. He took my son and He gave me a granddaughter that just drives me crazy. You know, but as far as my son, I have a letter from him from prison that he sent me maybe maybe a month before he passed away, telling me how sorry he was that I lost my job because I tested positive for marijuana and stuff. And he said, "But Pop, as long as you don't get those headaches, I couldn't care less, about your job." I said, "I understand you, Richie." I said, "Life is life. I'm not mad at you." And he said, "Okay, well, come see me next week then." And I hadn't go see him for about 2 or 3 months prior to that because, I had some problems. But when I went to see him, it was the greatest reunion in the world. Yeah.
Wow. That's tough. I mean,
Ah,
there's no loss that you can deal with that's worse than that. Parent outliving a
I'll tell
child.
you, I used to see when I was young, in life, I went to a lot of funerals, and I hated it with a passion to go to a child that I knew the parents, because man, the suffering that I was seeing, and I didn't know that sooner or later I was going to go through that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I tell you something, it's like the worst stab. It's like the worst stab in the heart, the worst stab. And I think about my boy every day, and I mention him all the time, and keep looking. And at times I see him. I see him in my dreams, or I close my eyes and I see him, and he tells me things. And it's just incredible. Life is beautiful, though. Thank God.
Well, the name of the show, right, is "Life's Tough. Boxers are tougher." I can't imagine a challenge bigger than that challenge. Um, so, tell us why you're tougher than life, because that's a big,
I,
big
I,
step.
I believe that God makes us all tougher than life because He never gives us much more than we can handle. Yeah. And once you meet God, or you see God, or you have a situation with God, and that God controls that situation, you will never go backwards. You will always believe in God. And I went through an experience in my life, and when I was 27 years old, I got a brother named Robert Rivera, and he was out in Rutgers College, and he had a bad toothache. He called me in the middle of the night, on a Sunday, nevertheless, about 12 o'clock at night. He said, "Mark, come down here, bring me some pills. But I got this toothache. I want to kill myself." He starts telling me. I said, "Robert, stop talking." He said, "You don't know how this is, Mark. I'm suffering, please." So I said to myself, "I got to go to New Brunswick to take you some painkillers." He said, "Mark, if you love me, you will." So I got in my car. I had a 98 Oldsmobile, a 1982 98 Oldsmobile. Got in my car, took off. Now imagine I'm going south on the turnpike. In Jersey City, the turnpike is the first exit is 14A, and then 14. And I'm going south, and it started to rain so hard. I mean, incredible. I couldn't see his film. So my car went into his tailspin. So I started praying to God, God, please help me, God. Let me take these pills to my brother, and please don't take me now, brother, Father God. I said, I want to have kids. I want to, I want to enjoy my life. I was praying to God. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, it stopped raining. It calmed down. The rain and everything calmed down. And when I looked at the next sign coming, it was exit 14B. How in the heck does that happen? I'm going south on the turnpike, and after I got out of all that tormenting rain, and it was just the craziest rain shower that I have seen in my life. But like I said, my car went into a tailspin, and I'm saying, God, please don't kill me. God, don't, not now. I said, I want kids. I want to. I was praying to God, and when I realized, it was calming down. I said, oh man, thank God. Oh man, I'm going to be able to get to my brother. And when I looked at the sign, it said 14B. I said, what the heck is going on? But I got off the turnpike and I went right home, and I ran to my mother to tell her what happened. And she's looking at me. She said, Michael, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't do drugs. What the hell got into you? I said, Mommy, I'm telling you what happened to me. And she looked at me. She looked me deadly in the eyes. She said, Michael, you're telling me the truth. I said, Mommy, I don't got to lie to you. But did you hear what I just said, Matt?
Yeah.
About I was going south on the turnpike.
Yeah.
And after everything calmed down, I was going right back at, I couldn't believe that for the life of me. To this day, that's one of the greatest things that I think about.
Yeah.
I mean, I sit down and just start thinking about that day, and say, wow, that could have been dead. I thank God that I prayed to God, and this and that, and it's incredible. It's just incredible, to know that when you really need him, he's there. We don't. He never fails us. We always fail him.
Sure.
Yeah.
I believe that very thing. So I'm with you on that. I'm definitely a person of faith, so I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you.
What happened to your brother's toothache? What wound up happening to your brother?
So I didn't get to go there. I didn't get to go there. You know what I'm saying? And next in the morning I called him because I was so nervous. And when I got home, I kept calling and calling. He wouldn't answer the phone. So I'm saying to myself, who do I call? So I started calling all his friends. I said, no, he's all right. He went to sleep in the room. He's knocked out, Mark. We gave him some pills and this. I said, you guys gave him some painkillers? He said, we don't know if they were real painkillers, but the lady next, in one of the dorms, who takes care of the dorms, we asked her, she gave it to us, and we gave it to him. And we haven't heard from him one more day, so he's probably sleeping in the room. I said, can you guys go check on him at least and let me know that he's okay? He said, all right, Mark. They didn't call me till almost 5:30 in the morning to let me know that he was okay. But he's Mark, what happened? And when I told him the story, he said, Mark, why would you make up a story like that to me? I said, now
he thought you didn't want to come down. He thought you didn't want to come down. That's why.
That's exactly what he said. Why would you do that, Mark? You just didn't. If you didn't want to come, you should have just told me you didn't want to come. I said, Rob, I said, you're my brother, this and that, and and I wish for the life of me that you was in my car with me that night to see what happened, man, because. I thank God maybe 962 million times. Kept saying, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you. When I went down the ramp from the turnpike on Montgomery Street, I'm saying to myself, wow, I'm home. Thank God. This thing, to go through a situation like that, people say, oh, that's just something that happened. No, nothing really happens. It's always a godly moment. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, faith. You got to have faith, and I'm with you on that. I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right.
Man. Let me tell you one other thing about that.
Please.
Every time that I dream something three times, it comes true. Okay, I'll tell you. The first time that I dreamed something 3 times was when I was getting ready to fight Earl Hargrove in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
The night before, I told my mother, I said, Mom, I dreamed. I dreamed that I was gonna knock him out. And she said, "You did, Mike?" I said, "He said, Mike, you just be careful and fight your fight. Do what you gotta do, and do what your trainers tell you." I said, "Mommy, I dreamed it 3 times, so I'm gonna knock this guy out." And she looked at me. She grabbed me. She hugged me. I mean, she hugged me so tight. I'm saying, "Mommy, you're trying to choke me." She said, "No, Mike, I love you so much. You're my son. This and this and that." And I just I'm so happy that you have so much faith in yourself. I said, I have faith in myself because he puts it there. If he didn't put it there, I wouldn't have it. I mean, so he said, oh, she said, okay. She said, are you sure you're going to win? I said, Mom, I'm going to knock this guy out.
You,
I don't know. Did you see the Hargrove fight?
yeah, it's funny. So funny you say that. So two real quick points on that. The first one, that was for the title. There was
Right.
controversy about the fight because it was a new the IBF was still a new organization at the time. Like now, it's an
Uh-huh.
established organization, and you were actually the underdog. So you
Big
had
time. Big time. Yes.
yeah, you were the underdog. Yeah, I watched the fight. I watched the fight last night actually because I wanted to.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I wanted to make sure I was prepped
Yeah.
for our call, and yeah, so
Wow.
the
Awesome.
you were the underdog, and yeah, and you took him out. It was in the eighth round, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So
No, the fifth round. The fifth round.
fifth round, okay. So
It was
you
the fifth round. Yeah,
yeah, so
fifth
you
round.
took, but I knew you took him out, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty awesome, man, and
Matt, you know what's really funny, Matt? He tried to intimidate me 2 times. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what he did, Matt. He came over to me. I was sitting down in the waiting room, and I was sitting down. He came. He put his finger on my forehead and he pushed me back. And everybody thought I was gonna jump up and get into that. I didn't say nothing to him. I said, "What's up? Why are you doing that to me, man?" He said, "I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock the effing out of you and this and this and that." And he said, "You ain't never fought nobody like me." This is. I told him. I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "You're a hell of a fighter." I said, "But you're gonna get a piece of me in the ring. Simple as that. Leave it at that." Rah, 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 rah. And he kept running his mouth. So as he turned around and walked away, what do you think I did to
nothing.
him? I grabbed his butt. He caught a fit. You MF, or you just to throw him off, just to throw him off. You mother effing me. And I looked at him. I said, "I told you, you're gonna." I said, "Everybody you hit, don't hit you back." I said, "I won't hit you back, and you're gonna fall." And he looked at me. And he looked at his friend. And when he looked at his friend, I knew that I was gonna beat him up. I don't know why, Matt, but I just knew that I was gonna beat him up. Once he looked at his friend, when I said that, he looked at his friend like, "Wow, this guy, you know." After the fight, I went over to his corner and hugged him and stuff. He said to me, he said, "Wow, you humbled me, man." I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, you humbled me." And I hugged him again. I said, "God bless you," and turned around and walked. I wanted to grab my mother. That's what I was really thinking about was my mother. And she
Yeah,
jumped in the ring and we started hugging. Yeah.
you
My
gave
old,
him you beat him up pretty good. I mean, you got him from the opening bell. It wasn't a close fight. I mean, you got him from the opening bell all the way through. So, and it's anybody wants to see that fight, you can check it out. It's definitely on YouTube. That's how, like I said, that's where I found it. So
yeah.
yeah, it was great though. I mean, that was a good, and it's funny. I'll tell you this too. I kind of remember that when I was a kid. I remember those, I remember that whole series, and I remember that the
uh,
IBF was kind of like a new thing, and that with when Larry Holmes took that title, that was a big that kind of like put them on the
very, yeah.
map, and then
Well,
you gave them a lot of credibility.
well, obviously, Larry Holmes didn't win the title. They gave him a title. They just gave him the title
Yeah,
first, which was great. Larry Holmes to me is one of the greatest fighters of all time too. You know, we all know who the greatest is already. Ali is the greatest, and he will always be the greatest.
sure.
But you got to give Larry Holmes the super duper credit and a lot of accolades because the guy was just incredible as a fighter. Also,
Yeah, yeah. You
who's
guys,
your favorite? Who's your favorite fighter, Matt?
my favorite fighter of all time. It's too hard for me to
Yeah,
pick because I got so many.
really?
Yeah, I got so. I mean, look, obviously, I was at the tail end of Ali. So I was at the tail end of
Mm-hmm.
Ali. So it was towards the end of his career. But I always loved Ali because he was on TV all the time, and he was kind of the gold standard. And then and I loved Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran.
Ah, awesome,
All guys
awesome.
of your
I
era. And then, later
yeah.
on, as I said, it's so hard for me to pick because there's so many. It was different points in my life. There were different fighters that I just absolutely identified with. And, so I love, that's why I love the sport. I love the lineage of the sport and I love the history of the sport.
Okay, Matt, where you at right now? What town are you in now?
I live in Long Island, so I'm out in Center Moriches, Long
Oh,
Island.
really? Wow, that's cool. Okay, okay. I thought you was in New Jersey somewhere.
No, no, no. It's. I'm just glad to hear you're still in Jersey. So, hey, Mark, let me ask you another. Actually, let me ask you two questions. One is, so did you say that your mom calls you? Your mom used to call you Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey. Yeah,
That's so funny because
yeah,
yeah, because my dad's Mike, so everybody calls me Mike, which I laugh at.
yeah.
But
My father. So we got Marcos is my father. Then we got Marcus is my brother, and then Mark me. Yeah.
oh my, that's funny.
And then my oldest, my youngest son is Mark Jr.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So, tell us about, so you overcame some tough challenges, right? Obviously, nothing
Yes,
tougher
sir.
than losing your son, and then, almost getting, crashing your car the turnpike.
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
how much your faith, and you hit on it a lot, but tell us about your faith, how it got you through both things, because I think it's important for listeners to hear that.
You know when you believe in God, you know that He hears you, and if He hears you, and you're doing the right thing for yourself and for everybody else, because God gives us one thing is that He wants us, all the people in the world, to bring souls to Him, the lost souls to Him. And anybody who does that, will always have you know, God's God's back, or God's favor. You have to have favor with Him because He wants you to do the right things. He always wants you to do the right thing, no matter how down and out you are. He's still with you. When your worst down and out is when God is holding you. And people don't realize that till later on in life sometimes. And I learned about it. When I made some money in boxing, and you lose some money, you make some money, and faith is something that you have that is deep in the heart, and when it comes out of you, it makes you a 10 times better person. Believe me.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Mark Medall, I
Thank you.
can't thank you enough. I love having you on the show. It's great. I was glad to appreciate you doing it. Um, we do something on the show. We call it the Fast Five, right? And so it's kind of like the last round. So the Fast Five. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you five questions, and just give
uh-huh.
us your answers. And we're dying to hear. We're dying to hear your answers. So if they made a movie about
Okay.
you, who would you want to play you?
uh, Denzel.
Okay, good.
Denzel Washington.
All right, cool. By the way, what's your favorite movie?
The Green Mile.
Nice. That doesn't count as one of the Fast Five, by the way. I'm just throwing that one out there. All
Yeah,
right. Cooking
but it's
contest.
go ahead.
Cooking contest. You or Bobby Ches, who wins?
Bobby Ches.
He beat you to cook. All right. You're a humble guy. You're a humble guy. Um,
You gotta tell the truth. You gotta tell the truth. I'm not a cook. My father was a cook for Chuck Full way back in the days. But I can make pancakes and a little bit of oatmeal. That's about it.
all right. All right. Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough. All right. What about a race? What if you guys raced, like a foot race, like running? Think you could beat him in a race?
well, I'm not fast either. I'm pretty big. I'm pretty big, but I'm not that fast. But I'm decent. Who beat Bobby in the race?
Yeah. You think you
You
beat
said?
Bobby in a race?
I think so. Yes.
I think you could too. I'm gonna say, and I don't
Yes.
mind. I'm gonna text him after this and tell him that you could beat him in a
Well,
race.
Matt, Matt, I stay in shape, Matt, because I don't want to give the other guy the advantage, Matt. I run one day yes, one day no, Matt. All my life,
Nice.
all my life. You're saying, no, guys, they see me running and they go, Mark, why are you running? I said, because if I hit somebody and he don't fall, I'm running.
Good. Good.
So they start laughing and say, Mark, anybody you hit's gonna fall. I said, nah, I'm just kidding. I just stay in shape. Guys, at work, I work for the Department of Public Works in Jersey City. I'm a laborer, and when they take my shirt sometimes, guys say, Mark, you got an effing six pack. I said, you work at it, man. If you work at it, you keep it. If never you don't, you won't. I said, Mark, when you're 65 years old with a six pack, I said, yeah, I work at it. You
You
know what
look
I'm saying?
great though. You look
And
like
the guys,
you look great. You look like you said. You look like you kind of found a fountain of youth. So you're
I'm 170 pounds,
that's great.
and I always weighed. Um, when I was playing high school football, I was 155 pounds. Just saying, I was a linebacker in Lincoln High School when Lincoln High School was Lincoln High School.
Nice.
We got and I never feared weight and never feared the size in any situation that I was in, because I said to myself, you're prepared to fight. You know how to fight. You know how to take care of yourself. So have faith in yourself and do what you know how to do in the situation that you have to. And thank God I've been fortunate in life.
Let me ask you, what was your favorite place you ever boxed at?
Caesar's Palace.
Ah, nice. All right, Caesar's Palace.
Yes.
That's a little bit of an upset. I thought you were going to say the Garden, so that's a little bit of an
The
upset.
Garden was my house. The Garden was my house. I held the record for knockouts at the Garden for a long time. 19 straight knockouts.
Wow.
And John Condon, Bobby Goodman, those guys were just incredible people. I would love to see those guys now. You said I really was. I mean, they treated me like I was a human being, and no matter where I go and where I'm at, if somebody treats me like just like a human being, I don't want that special treatment. I don't want none of that stuff. I just want to get treated like a human being and a decent person because I show that to everybody. If I slip and bump into, oh sorry, I'm so sorry, and they're like, oh it's okay. So I said thank you so much, and I keep myself sharp like that because I work in the street now with as an essential worker. You run into all these roughnecks,
Yeah.
and they always want to try you. And I go to them. I say, the last time, let me tell you, because it was so funny. The last time that I got into a situation with a guy, I said to him, I said, you follow boxing? He goes, yeah, I follow it big time. I said, okay, do me a favor. You got to. Let me see your phone. But I'm like I said, I'm computer illiterate, man. I said, Google this name, Mark Mark Medal, and the first picture that comes up is me. Is usually me and her is fighting. And he goes, "What do you want me to see?" I said, "See that guy right there? Look at him." He said, "Which one?" He said, "The one." I said, "The one in the white shirt with the blue stripes." He said, "Man, that looks like you." I said, "Okay, no, that is me." I told him. And see what it says on there. What it says? What does it say? It is IBS Super Welterweight Championship. You a boxing champion? I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's something I don't want to fight, man." He said,
"Yeah, that's exactly."
Well, I don't want to fight either. They look at me. They calm down. They start stuttering, and I just laugh. I said, "Give me a bump, man." And sometimes I even grab them and hug them and say, "Have a great day," and just walk away because I don't want to bang nobody up in the street and just get shot or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But everybody in Jersey City knows me. I mean, the worst areas of Jersey City, as a cop, I was adored in Jersey City. You know what I mean? I mean, I was the best cop that Jersey City, I believe, will ever see. Because when you have authority, Matt, it's to help people, not to mess with them.
Absolutely.
Okay? I used to walk up to people and say, "How can I help you?" And they say, "What'd you just say?" I said, "How can I help you? I'm here to help you. I'm not here to mess with you. I'm here to help you." And I always used to find a way to get a person home instead of locking them up. I had no arrest in 24 years. You see? Well, actually, I was part of an arrest. One of the arrests. I was working with one of my best friends named Mike Gajewski, who's a deputy chief now in Jersey City Police Department. And he caught a guy that kept being super duper suspicious. You know what I'm saying? So we got into him and we checked him out, and we ran his plate and pulled him over, and he had a whole bunch of marijuana on him. And somebody locked him up. But I didn't sign the complaint. You know what I'm saying? Or the arrest paper. And he used to ask me that all the time. Mike is now a deputy chief, okay?
That's great.
The kid is maybe what? 39 years old. The kid is one of the most incredibly intelligent kids I've met in my life. You hear me? I mean, incredible. This kid, you know what it is to become a chief, a deputy chief at 29, 30 years old?
Oh, yeah.
You got to be a brain. I mean, when you become a chief, you have to take a test, Matt. You know what I'm saying? And this guy this guy Mike was just, to me, he's like a little brother to me. You're saying, and great guy. I said, people like him always lifted me up. You know
nice.
what I'm saying?
That's a good way to say it.
Because, I'm going to tell you something, Matt. Every day I live 2 blocks from the precinct where I was working at the East District in Jersey City. Okay, so I used to walk to the precinct every day. Okay, and every day I said the same prayer: God, Father God. I said, Our Father, one, having all that stuff, and I say, Father God, please let me be able to help somebody today, Father God, please. And it's Matt. I'm going to tell you another story which is crazy. You're going to love this, Matt. Matt, I tell you, I used to say that prayer every day, man. Okay, every single day. as I was walking to work. One day I realized that there was somebody always walking next to me, okay, as I was praying. So I looked like that. And I said, "Oh, what's it was?" I said, "Who are you?" He says, he said, "Nah, I see you, and I hear you praying every day. Can I walk with you and pray with you?" I said, "You would? What'd you do?" He said, "You hear me praying every day?" "You do?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, yeah." He said, "Come on." He says, "Can I walk with you?" I said, "Yeah." So I started walking with the older guy, the half block, and he's telling me things, and I go to him. I said, "Where are you going to?" He says, "I'm going to 8th Street." "Why?" I said, "Because I want to go to 7th Street." "You going to walk with me?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "Can we pray together?" And I looked at him. I said, "Yeah." So we prayed. Me and this guy, we held hands. I don't know the guy from Adam, but he was a little older guy, we held hands and we prayed. And then he goes to me. He says, "Look," he said, "Mark." Never told him my name. He said, "Mark, I hear you praying every single day, and I believe everything you're saying, and I'm gonna help you." He said, "God bless you." He said, "I'll bless you." And he didn't say, "God bless you." He said, "I'll bless you." And he walks away. And I looked back like that. No, 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 no. Before he walked away, I dropped my keys. And I went to pick up my keys. And I looked. The guy was nowhere in sight. Okay? Right now, I'm saying to myself, I'm looking around. I ran in the middle of the street to look to see where he was walking. He was walking. And I said, "Nah, man." I'm saying to myself, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I get to the precinct. And the desk man, his name is Leo Collins. Great guy. Great guy, one of the biggest comedians I know, and one of the most sweetest human beings I know. And he goes, he said, as soon as I walked in, he said, "Hey, Mark, look like you saw a damn ghost." I said, "For real?" I said, "Well, I'm going to tell you something." I told him the same story with the guy. He said, Mark, you took too many punches." And I'm looking at Leo. I said, "Leo, I'm dead serious." He said, "Mark, you came in here, your face was so white, Mark." And that's why I said that. You thought I was joking? I said, "I had one of the greatest encounters of my life, man. I was walking here." And I told him the same story. And he said to me, he said, "Some people make things up, Mike." Mark, he said, "But I'm looking at you and I can see that you're telling the truth just by your mannerism, Mark." You know what I'm saying? I said, "Man, why would I be lying about something that ignorant or that's stupid?" You know what I'm saying? Because he said, "Well, because some people just look for attention, Mark, especially when they're police officers." I said, "Are you kidding me?"
That's great.
Leo Collins is one. Yeah, one. I worked a number of white guys in these districts, okay, and to me they treated me like kings as friends. Not friends. Not they didn't treat me as royalty. I had to do my job and everything, but everybody that worked with me, it was incredible brotherhood in Jersey City with the police department. Okay. Incredible. You know what I'm saying? And you got some really good cops. And, you always have your bandits, but in Jersey City you have more greater cops than any other city in the world that I know. Believe me. And I've been to many places in the world, and they always get into a situation where you have to have a cop. And when I was a cop, I didn't always brag that I was a cop. Didn't tell anybody I was a cop. Wherever I went somewhere, didn't state that I was a cop. I was always just me. And everybody appreciated me like that. And when they used to find out that I was a cop, "Hey, Mark, I know you was a cop." I said, "Now you do."
Nice. Let me ask you. Let me ask you another question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To help people.
Nice.
I'd love to help
I think
people.
that is you did that, and you're still doing that. So you got that superpower. All right. Well, last question.
But again.
Last question. Tell us a clean joke.
Okay. There was a lady standing on the corner waiting for the bus. As we passed by, in the car, a guy, a stranger walks up to her, taps on the back, puts in a backward chokehold, and he starts patting her down to see she's got money. He's tapping her breast. She goes, "Oh, please don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me." She goes, "Oh, please don't hurt me. I'll give you all my money." And the guy goes from patting her breast on top, he goes to a private part, and he's gonna stick his hand in her pants. She goes, "Oh my God, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me." But if you put your hand in all the way down there, I'll write you a check.
All right, one bonus question for you. How come you don't have a nickname?
Mikey.
Well, Mikey, I know.
I mean, for boxing, when I was boxing.
Yeah.
The only one he used to say was John Condon, believe it or not. He said it when he remembered, he always said, "Ladies and gentlemen, from Jersey City, Mikey Medal." You know what I'm saying? He said it a few times because he used to love to call me Mikey when I was in the booth with him. John Condon was just, I'm telling you, I don't know if it was, how I said, if it was foolish for them to do it, or they were doing it for whatever reason they were doing it. I knew that they were honest because Matt, when I shake a person's hand, I always shake the hand and I always reach in and hug them. Okay, when some people stick their hand like this in front of the chest and block me, I'll never shake their hand again and never hug them again.
Nice.
Okay, John Condon did that to me one time. And then after about the third time that I saw him and didn't hug him and shake his hand, he said, "Mark, what's the matter? Did I do something wrong?" I said, "You blocked my love the other day." And he said, "When did I do that, Mark? I would never do that to you." I said, "You didn't realize you were like this." I said, "I usually won't hug a guy in the morning." He said, "You better come over here and give me a hug and hug me." And John, I'm telling you, Matt, John Condon, Bobby Goodman, and a few other guys in there, the security guys, Mr. Condon used to call me up at home, Matt, and say to me, "Mark, what are you doing right now?" I said, "John, it's only about 6:30. What do you want me to be doing? I'm home hanging out with my family." He says, "You want to come? You want to come see Billy Joel?" I said, "Billy Joel? Yeah, I would love to go see Billy Joel." He says, "Okay, the tickets will be at the window. Come, okay." No matter what type of concert, no matter what it was, John Condon used to call me and ask me, "Did I want to go?" Always. He said, "It doesn't matter how many people you have, Mark. How many family members?" I said, "I got a lot of family members. I don't want to do that to you, John." He says, "Okay, let's take one try." He said, "How many people you want to go see Billy Joel with you?" I said, "Just me and my lady."
Nice.
I'm not gonna take the family. I don't do that. I don't take advantage of stuff like that, John. He says, "Mark, you're a great guy. I don't even worry about those other things." He said, "We check everybody out here. We let you flow when your rhythm, and we try to figure out who you are." And he said, "Nobody has figured you out yet, and everybody thinks you're just a great guy." I said, "For real?" He said, "Yep." So I started laughing. I thought it was, it was cool.
Well, I tell you what, I think you're a great guy. I can't thank you enough for being on the show, and it's
Thank you so
been
much,
an honor
man.
and talking to you, champ. So absolutely great to talk to the great Mark McDowell, the IBF junior middleweight champion. Thanks, pal. Thanks for being on.
Matt, thank you so much, and God bless you a billion times. You and your family. God bless you, big guy.
Thanks, and back
Love
at
and
you, buddy.
respect always. Oh, okay, champ. God bless you.
That's going to be the final bell for today's podcast. If you like what you hear, give us a like and hit the subscribe button with your best power punch. You can check us out at Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and anywhere you can find quality podcasts. We hope our stories inspire you to fight on. We thank you for listening, and remember, life's tough, boxers are tougher. Have a great week, everyone.